A smaller relative of Sarcosuchus, Kaprosuchus paludentium, is a water-based carnivore primarily found lurking among the island's swamps. A naturally fast runner that is even faster in the water, it is a solitary hunter that picks off small to medium creatures, especially those isolated from their pack. When attacking, Kaprosuchus uses two main tactics. First, it patiently waits below the water surface, and when the target is sufficiently close by, will perform a lateral jump that it uses to quickly close distance with its prey and drag it underwater. Secondly, it attacks the prey's vital areas specifically to drain its stamina. These two techniques effectively prevent most creatures from escaping Kaprosuchus once an assault has begun. Survivors are generally split about the usefulness of Kaprosuchus. Some love its speed, both in and out of the water, essentially making it among the fastest, small-sized, all-terrain mounts when travelling through the wetlands. Others do not like how relatively frail Kaprosuchus is, and do not think its high speed and ensnaring attacks make up for this shortcoming. It is difficult to be angry with Helena leaders, despite its rather terrible nature. The creature has practically no intelligence and just attaches to any nearby living flesh in an attempt to drain that creature's blood. Removing Helena requires precision blade work, or access to an open flame. Both of these can be nearly as dangerous to the host as to the leech itself. Once Helena attaches to a host, it drains blood at a rapid pace, and the host experiences hunger, loss of health, and lowered stamina. Some Helena are also carriers for a dangerous disease I've dubbed swamp fever, which persists beyond the leech's own lifespan. Few creatures on the island are transmitters for this disease, and it can ultimately be cured with a rare medicine. While Helena is not intelligent enough to be tamed, it is always useful to keep a few around for antidotes and fishing lures. When processed properly, Helena venom can be made into a powerful antivenom. Paracer giganticus is a massive, long-necked herbivore that inhabits some of the island's grasslands. It resembles a gigantic horse/rhinoceros hybrid, but is over twice the size of either. Paracer is a very peaceful and friendly creature. Barring some surprises yet in store for me, I can safely say that Paracer is among the largest mammals on the island. While its size means that Paracer can provide an incredible amount of food, it also makes it dangerous when hunted. A beast of burden second to the Brontosaurus, Paracer is an excellent worker and is sufficient in size to support a platform saddle upon which structures can be built. It is a naturally friendly animal and is not afraid of humans. However, despite its normally calm demeanour, when it or its owner is provoked by aggression, Paracer can quickly become a real threat to the attacker and will use its girth to its advantage in combat. Found mostly in marshes and jungles, Achatina is a very slow, very non-threatening land mollusk. It might be the simplest creature on the island to hunt, and while it only provides a small amount of meat and chitin, an easy meal is always of value on the island. Unlike nearly every other creature on the island, Achatina does not defecate normally. Instead, it secretes a thick, sticky substance. Achatina leaves trails of this slime, but the trails are so thin that they crumble to dust quickly. Legend has it that Achatina can be tamed with a special cake made from harvested crops and resources. There is a very disgusting but useful fact about Achatina that causes tribes to seek to tame them. Its secretions are chemically similar to the cementing paste and organic polymer used by many tribes for building materials. Tamed Achatina naturally accumulates this slime over time, which can then be collected at the tribe's convenience. Among the island's swamp-based threats, Sarcosuchus excubator is a lot like what you might expect from a giant crocodile, a patient killing machine. It spends much of its days lazily waiting in the water for prey to walk near. That said, it is not opposed to scurrying onto land and pressing the issue when hungry. A good tactic for escaping many predators is to jump into the water, as most are slow swimmers. This is a bad tactic for escaping a Sarcosuchus, obviously, as they are actually faster in the water than they are on land. Whether in land or water, it utilises a well-rounded arsenal of attacks to display its prowess as a hunter. If it desires to grab a predator and spin into a death roll, quickly lunge forward for a surprise attack, or target a foe directly behind it, it is able to do so with extreme ease. Sarcosuchus is a ferocious creature that even causes the fearless piranha to flee at the sight of it. Despite being river-dwelling creatures, Sarcosuchus seem quite at ease in the oceans. More than a few fishing communities use them as mounts, simply to help fight off megalodons, or to gain better access to the resources found within the reefs. Presiding almost solely within the island's swamps, Diplocaulus natatori nutrix is a small amphibian that primarily eats minor fish. It rounds out what I consider to be the middle bottom of the ecosystem, feeding on the tinier, non-insect creatures of the island, while itself being a common snack for the larger carnivores. Because so many creatures prey on it, Diplocaulus has become very skittish and often flees at the first sign of trouble. It uses its amphibious nature to escape into whichever environment its predator isn't native to. Diplocaulus' unique capability to retain vast quantities of oxygen allows it to effectively remain submerged for hours at a time, usually outlasting even other amphibious creatures that might otherwise prey upon it. There are only a few uses for tamed Diplocaulus. It is primarily kept for the rather disgusting practice of employing a Diplocaulus as an oxygen bag. Diplocaulus stores air in the bladders of its head, and divers can suck from these bladders to take deep breaths while submerged, supporting long-term underwater exploration without the use of external gear. Surprisingly, Diplocaulus is also extremely efficient when it comes to hunting trilobites. Dimetrodon calorecta is a much calmer predator than most on the island. Because it lives off smaller prey than humans, it generally ignores anything much larger than a coelacanth. Dimetrodon is one of the few carnivores on the island that could be classified as reasonably friendly in the wild. The sail on Dimetrodon's back is an especially fascinating thing. It can be angled to provide shade from the sun and allows Dimetrodon to disperse heat more quickly. The inner workings of the sail can also restrict blood flow in the creature to hold in excessive heat. Together, these two traits allow Dimetrodon to comfortably survive in any climate, though they are most commonly found in the swamplands, which are rich in prey. If Dimetrodon was a bit larger or didn't have that massive sail, it would make a decent mount. However, its main use to survivors is to utilise the sail's insulating capabilities. Just being near Dimetrodon gives excellent protection from both heat and cold, which has saved my life through more than one ice blizzard in the frozen Northlands. Beelzebufo palucoccus is the largest frog I've ever seen. Almost impossibly large. It can actually fit a full-grown human adult on its back, though just barely. This is a dangerous prospect though, as secretions from Beelzebufo's skin and saliva have a narcotic effect on most creatures. Not surprisingly, Beelzebufo is adept at killing insects. Its lengthy tongue allows it to quickly grab prey from afar, killing most insects near instantly and quickly digesting them. It even combines the narcotic chemicals in its mouth with the insect's chitin to create a specialised sticky substance. Tamed Beelzebufo make for strange mounts for strange people. Many tribes don't believe there's any reason to ride them, but some enjoy the ability to take large vertical hops up huge walls and cliffs. Regardless of how it's ridden, Beelzebufo is almost employed for its ability to quickly cull insects and convert them into always useful cementing paste. Meganeura quadpenna is an especially large species of dragonfly. Actually, it is a type of griffinfly, an extinct species of invertebrate that looked similar to dragonflies. Like most griffinflies, Meganeura is carnivorous, but it is typically not aggressive towards humans unless provoked or challenged for food. It lives primarily in the wetter, heavier, wooded areas, such as the jungles. Meganeura is a natural predator of most of the smaller insects on the island. Though not often aggressive, Meganeura will not turn down a free meal. They quickly appear in large numbers to scavenge off the victims of Pulmonoscorpius, rendered unconscious and unable to defend themselves. Of course, the insects do have to avoid the Pulmonoscorpius itself. I have noticed it is unwise to disturb a flock of feeding Meganeura. The size of the insects on the island confounds me. The way these creatures diffuse oxygen should limit their size, but Meganeura and other bugs seem to be able to advance beyond this restraint. If there is more oxygen in the air, this could explain Meganeura's growth.